Welcome back to the Remedial Film Class Podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
And I'm Travis.
And I'm, forget about it.
Hey, George. How you doing?
How
How you doing?
Okay, let's not do that, though. I don't want to get
Yeah.
canceled by the
All right.
Italian-American community.
Well, are you?
None of
Are
those
you at
phrases
all-
were even said in this movie.
No, they weren't. Are you at all Italian, Dan?
I
don't
am
know.
not. I'm half German, half Irish.
Not even a little bit
Yeah,
Italian.
I'm Irish
What
as well.
Okay, so I'm the only person here that's even a lick of
Yes.
just even a tiny bit Italian.
Yes.
So you can spend a quarter of the episode doing voices.
I wasn't even going to spend that long, but okay.
man.
That's your maximum. Not
Okay.
necessary. Please.
More
don't.
than that, and I'm appropriating a culture too much.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going more Sopranos than this movie. This movie's a little more old country.
I got everything, bro. I got Sopranos.
Although I love when James Caan bites his fist. That made me laugh just a little bit.
Yeah, bro.
So this week we made George watch the number 2 best movie on IMDb, The Godfather.
The motherfucking Godfather.
We finally watched it. We watched Silent Night, Deadly Night before we watched Godfather.
Oh my god. The motherfucking Godfather.
Ugh. Yeah.
Trav, do you have an impression of Don
what?
Corleone?
Kind of. I kind of can. Why?
I'm just asking.
I
It seems
don't
like
know.
an impression that you could
Yeah.
probably do.
Gonna get my awfully count fuel.
Dude, if you could see his chin right now, it's sticking out past his nose.
I push out the lower jaw.
It's so good.
I think you have to. I think that's
Yes,
like
you
part
have
of
to.
the vocalization.
Absolutely.
Although I think Brando actually put like walnuts in his mouth. He looked like he just came from the dentist. He's like, I got a root canal. Yeah.
Now, George, have you ever seen a movie with Marlon Brando in it before?
I have no idea.
Do you have any idea who
Probably
Marlon Brando is?
No.
My college roommate confused him with Martin Lawrence one time. That's a true story. We were watching cable, and whatever movie, Blue Streak or something, comes on, and he goes, Marlon Brando! And I'm like, no, man, that's Martin Lawrence. But, sorry.
Are you sure you didn't think it was Marlon Wayans?
He thought it was Marlon Brando. It was amazing. He announced it to the room
Oh my
incorrectly.
God. That is hilarious.
Miss you, Kirk.
That's so good.
Wow. Yeah, it's funny. There's so much to talk about, but I don't know how to get started.
Yeah, where do you even begin with the best movie ever?
Second best movie ever.
I don't know about best movie ever. Really, really good fucking movie.
Yeah.
Best
not-
movie ever. I don't know about that.
It's
but
not perfect,
it's
man.
Really, really, really
You
good.
could definitely see it influenced Tarantino a little bit.
Oh, sure.
Just a little bit.
Oh my
Your
god.
Yeah,
Match.
where do we start?
I don't know, the beginning
Okay, so
or your notes. Do you have notes?
I don't have notes, but
Oh,
I got it all up here.
Okay.
All up here
He's
in the
tapping
old
his head.
Yeah.
Thank God it's the head.
He's
Wait, no.
Travis is biting
Biting
his
my
fist.
fist. James Caan style.
Oh,
I
love
bit
James
the
Caan.
index finger.
Oh God, we need a YouTube channel.
Oh,
All right.
jeez.
Holy crap. Let's bring it back down. Okay. And go. You know what actors I confuse all the time? And it's not because I think they're the same person. It's just that I've like confused their names. Al Pacino
Mhm.
and Joe Pesci. I have no idea why
Right.
I have this mental block that I think that Al Pacino's name is Joe Pesci.
Right.
It's obviously not.
Clearly
They're not even close to the same person.
If
No,
you
I
could
have-
give me Home Alone starring Al Pacino, I'd
Yeah.
die happy.
I'd watch that. Definitely.
It would
Him and
probably
Daniel Stern, I think, would be pretty awesome together.
Yeah, probably would be. But anyways, can I tell you that I didn't even recognize Pacino
No.
until he was sitting in the chair delivering
wedding?
the line, "I'm going to kill them both."
Really?
I didn't even recognize him because, well, first of
mean,
all, he
yes.
doesn't look like the Pacino that I know.
Right.
Because I've
definitely
seen
not
him.
doing the Pacino acting that you're used to.
Right, I've seen
Yeah.
him in things. I think I saw Righteous Kill.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen him in that.
You
all
saw
the
Glenn Ross as well, so you've seen him at his older.
Yeah.
Screaming at that.
So I didn't even recognize him when he's sitting at the wedding with his girl, and this is his family, but he's really not about this. Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm buying it.
Right.
I have no idea that this is the person that this movie is about to just revolve around. Right. No idea. And it got to the point, like I said, until he was sitting in that chair, talking about,
After
I'm
gonna
go to this meeting, and I'm gonna kill both of them.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my God, that's Al Pacino. Oh my God, how did I not realize that was Al Pacino? Because he's got this look on his face. He's got this disgusted look, the Pacino look.
Yeah.
And before that he didn't. He was, dude. The range of this actor is just.
I know. I always bring this movie up when people say that he's a screamer. He's this. He's that. I'm like,
nah.
Godfather's some of the most subtle acting I've ever seen in any movie he's done. It's so subtle, and obviously 2 is good too. But it's like, it's before he goes there, and finds out his range no longer has to be all over the place. It can be just at 11, and he still gets Oscar nominations. But I love the subtle Al Pacino. Just love it. Just to watch his face, just watch the things he's thinking and doing without saying a word. Ugh.
That scene where he's manically, like, his eyes are bouncing around the room as he's kind of panic thinking. It's like, so it's not subtle, but it's like a nuanced amount of crazy.
Yeah.
So perfectly done. And then
you talking about at the baptism?
No, I think it's when he's sitting there. Oh my God, I should have written down the scene. It's earlier because he's in like a super intense, but I don't think it's at the dinner when he's about to blast the guys. Maybe it is.
Well, he does it there as well. Like, he does it about 4 or 5 times in this movie.
But where he's just actively, you can see the panic
what
being
about
suppressed.
When he's in the hospital and
he
gets there and nobody's there?
Yeah.
That was like a really, like a scene where it's like kind of high stress for him.
Can you imagine being that nurse and getting the call sheet, finding out? I mean, because you read the script, but he eats up the screen. It doesn't matter what he's doing. He just eats it up, and then she has to be this willing character that's kind of involved in things he's doing, and she's trying to, like, there's no way if I was like an extra or somebody who's just starting out and I have to do a scene with Al Pacino, who's already established, ridiculous actor, and it's just them two. Like, you can't play off of anybody else. You have to play off of him. Like, I don't know if I'd be able to do it.
I don't know that he was that established yet, though. I mean, if you look at his movie history, he's only in a couple of things before this and nothing.
But I mean, talent level.
I don't think he would make a very good nurse either.
The thing about him in this movie, like, this movie is about
his breakout.
A lot of things, but one of the things this movie is substantial is the ascension of Michael Corleone. But the movie itself is the ascension of Al Pacino.
Yes.
As he grows, oh man, that scene at the end where he slaps the table, do not ask me about my business, or my affairs or whatever. He gets right up under, like, if he's normally at 11, he gets to like 9.5 or 10 in that scene.
Yeah.
To where there's more, but he's not giving it to you yet. Oh man. That's
he channels like a Gene Wilder type response there. Like, he's like, do not ask me. And then she just starts. That's a perfect example of when I talk about you have to jump on lines.
Yes.
To make it feel real.
Yes.
Like, I mean, that's Diane. Oh my God, I was about to say Diane Allen. Diane Keaton. She's the same level of talent as he is. So I don't know how much rehearsal they did, but it was almost like it was really happening. Like, there's no acting going on in that scene. That they're portraying. And that's what I always ask for. I don't want to see acting. I want to see people being and doing.
So good. So good.
Now, this movie, The Godfather, I often bring up the Brando role. Now, I don't know if this is going to work as much for George because you've never seen him in anything else. But George, you know when you saw Heath Ledger play the Joker and suddenly 10 Things I Hate About You, Heath Ledger no longer existed in that man? That's this role for Brando.
Or was it A Knight's Tale came out like a year and a half before the Joker?
I wasn't like a huge... I wasn't familiar with Ledger's work before. Actually, the only thing that I knew that he was in was that movie with the gay dudes.
Oh, the Brokeback.
Yeah, Brokeback Mountain was the only thing that I like knew him from.
Well, it's funny, like when he got that part, everybody who knows him from, 10 Reasons and what was the other one? Knight's Tale, like basically teen rom-com type stuff. We're all like, no.
He didn't have the chops. How could he possibly have the chops? All we've seen him do is be charming and kind of a bad boy. And so all of a sudden you're thinking, oh God, I'm going to have bad boy charming Joker.
But then when I saw The Dark Knight, I knew it was Heath Ledger because I had heard it was Heath Ledger. But as soon as I saw the Joker on screen, the first scene, like the bank robbery scene, I was like, I don't even recognize the actor playing this part. It could be anybody. I don't even... the face wasn't even there. Like, I didn't even recognize anybody playing that part.
And that brings us to Brando.
Yep.
I mean, you're talking about a guy who... I mean, he acts from, the late 40s, probably? Yeah, 49.
Probably.
Yeah,
like
he
Streetcars, like 51?
And he's just super studly. I mean, the guy played Mark Antony. And, of course, Stella, right? Yeah. You don't know what that is, George, but it's important.
Okay.
But you've heard of Mark Antony, right? Julius...
I don't know,
Julius
maybe.
Caesar? Have you ever read Julius Caesar, the play? The one written by Shakespeare?
No, I think the only Shakespeare I've actually read was Merchant of Venice.
Huh.
Like the only Shakespeare I've actually read.
That might be homework for a later episode.
Okay.
Read Julius Caesar.
Maybe I have, though. I'm not sure.
I mean, you've been to a history class, right?
Yeah.
You know the story.
Yeah.
It's just that. Only he's Mark Antony.
Okay.
Gives the speech, man.
You know, it's funny, towards the end when I was watching him, because I've seen him basically his whole career.
Who?
Brando.
Okay.
So you got to see his classic stuff, and then you saw this, him in his prime, and then later on you get like Island of Dr. Moreau, and you get like where he gets a little wacky, like the things he's in. He's
okay.
He does go a little off the reservation, but then
at the very end,
God, if you've ever seen Last Tango in Paris, holy shit!
Yeah,
like whoa, like the guy has range.
Oh God, yeah. But when he was running around the tomato plants with his grandson, and he's got the fake teeth in and all that stuff, and I'm just like, my God,
beautiful scene.
it's the old Brando. Like he foresaw his own behavior. Like when he became old, that's how he acted. He was like Val Kilmer's going through it too. Like they just kind of, I don't know what it is, but they kind of become a parody of themselves.
I sent you a picture of like a young Brando, George, just to give you an idea of what the world expected from Brando in the late 60s. So you can see like, oh, now Meg's seen it. So little fan service for the ladies. What's up? But like that man does not exist in Vito. He is completely...
Whoa.
Yeah. And not just that he's more handsome, but like, look at his attitude and his whole being is just... It disappears. Vito is its own... It's like a possession issue. Like he is possessed by Vito Corleone when he's in this movie.
That is exactly... that. Dude, you described it perfectly with The Dark Knight. Because it's like, I don't recognize any actor as playing this character. This character is this character.
And he's the epitome of method. Like almost everybody in this movie is method.
Yeah.
So...
Does George know what method is?
Yeah, I have an idea. Okay, apparently, method is a really, really good way
if
to
you're gonna
act.
smack each other, you're gonna smack each other. You're gonna be doing what you're supposed to.
Yeah,
be
and also
portraying.
like you don't ever break character, even when you're not on, like you're not being filmed. Like you just Like if your
Right.
character is a mobster, you live and act like a mobster all the time until the movie's done.
Right. Well, there's an interview with Dustin Hoffman. What's the John Lipton, the Inside the Actor Studio,
Mm-hmm.
and they talk about method and it's like a whole thing. And then Hoffman's like, "Yeah, I don't do that. I just kind of if I have to go there," and he kind of gets right into it. And then he goes right back and he starts talking. Like, he didn't have to go off into the corner and find his motivation and all stuff. Like he went to 11, and the guy in the crowd that he yelled at probably crapped himself. And then he just went right back to talking. And to me, when you see Brando and he's like, "He's got the mouthful, he's kind of talking," like you know that he was probably doing that.
Oh yeah.
Even when they're doing lunch. Like,
Yeah.
I'll take a coffee, 2 sugars. Like it's something that it's a choice, and he did it. And then I think it kind of rubbed off on everybody else because you could see everybody kind of doing their character. Like you have a bunch of people here that basically play themselves in almost every other movie they're in. But in this movie, they're playing characters. It's interesting to watch. Like James Caan, you could see him in anything. He's an elf. And he's playing Sonny.
Yeah.
In Elf. But
yeah.
When you watch him playing Sonny, you can tell he's playing a character. But when you watch James Caan play in Misery or even do an interview, he's James Caan. Like he's just like Keanu Reeves. He doesn't play anything other than himself.
Right.
So Pacino's the same way. He's become a character, the Al Pacino character. But I know when he's doing interviews, he's kind of late. He's kind of quiet. He's not that person. So they're all playing. And that's what I think I love the most about it. Even like the guys, the background guys, like everybody, the second tier, third tier henchmen, they're all just playing amazing characters. Like I want to, when we talk about backgrounds, I want to see the backgrounds of some of these guys. I want to see how they got to that position. And then who gets lost in this movie? The Concierge. Like, he's an Oscar award-winning actor, and he just gets so lost.
Oh, the Conciliary or whatever.
Yeah.
Robert Duvall, man.
He's Bobby Duvall, but you don't even really even.
Oh,
I think you
see,
called
for
him
me,
a concierge.
He's like my favorite.
Isn't that someone that like
Concierge?
Conciliary or
Conciliary,
something?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not Italian.
You called him a
I called him a concierge. He's running the hotel.
Yeah, he's gonna bring you breakfast or something. Like, nah, bro.
He's gonna do my my sheet. He's gonna give me new
he's
towels.
gonna do something.
He's your fixer. He's gonna write
He's my
checks
fixer.
to porn stars. What's up?
But right.
Basically, yeah. That's
what he does.
But
But he's awesome, and he's my one like kind of ethnic connection to
so
this movie. So I always feel connected to Tom.
he's so good in this
that's
movie.
True.
But it's so subtle. That scene at the end when they walk. What's his name? Okay, I forgot his name. There's so many names in this movie. The turncoat, the guy that
Tessio.
they whack. Tessio. What he was doing just with his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So good.
Just enough, man.
Bobby Duvall.
I mean, we could just do 10 minutes on every cast member, and I mean,
we'd have a 2-hour podcast.
I think people
I
would
have
be here for
one.
it.
When we get the complaints, I have one complaint.
What complaints?
Let's hear it. This
No, it's minor. It's when Mo gets assassinated.
I love Mo
which
Green.
one's Mo?
Mo Green,
He's the one getting the
the-
back massage from the old. I don't know if
the
it's a
guy
man or
from
woman.
Vegas.
And gets shot in the eye.
Oh, yeah,
The-
through his glasses.
Yeah, the guy says,
and
"You Corleones, you're done."
and some 3M blood came out.
Yeah, it was like 2M. It was like 2M blood. It was.
Yeah.
Like, it looked
I
like
thought that was a cool effect
strawberry
because
juice.
you see him put the glasses on, and somehow they still coordinate the hose to shoot the blood out. Like
yeah.
that.
No, that
From
was
a
cool.
gore shot. It's cool, but yeah, I mean, you guys got to get over this blood thing. Like, that's what blood looked like in '72.
But
No. I agree. That effect, the effect of the glasses and like
awesome.
being shot through the glasses, great idea, awesome.
There was just too much water in that blood.
Yeah, the blood does kind of.
But then
kinda
you can sit
ruin
there
it
and
a
go,
little
okay,
bit.
well maybe they had some brain juices in there, so I don't know. But
Hey,
yeah,
listen, dude, I'm forgiving it because
I've seen 2 real life headshots, and the blood is definitely darker than that, and thicker, and flows fast. So
when did you see?
I was gonna
Real
say,
life
what do
headshots?
you do for what's your side gig?
not
these
in
days,
person,
man?
not
Shoot.
not in front of
Oh,
me,
Oh,
but I've
okay.
seen 2 live headshots.
real,
Yeah.
video
video.
of real
Okay,
headshots.
all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that explains
And-
a lot, actually, because
Yeah,
I was
when you
kind of
see-
worried
when
for
you
a
see
second.
it for real, and then you see that, you're like, oh yeah, they didn't get that right, and it took me out just for a second, but not enough to be mad at it.
Right. Same thing. Same thing.
But-
I was like kind of like disappointed for a second, but I was like, I don't care. That was a cool ass effect.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were all just everybody getting wiped out, that it was such a good plan.
Oh, guys.
Yeah.
All right. So you know how I don't get scared and I don't get excited and whatever.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
really
a movie.
fucking annoying,
Movies a movie. Okay, dude. Yeah, it's really not.
Movie's a movie.
Yeah,
No,
dude.
this really happened. This is a documentary.
The scene, the meeting with, give me their names. It was Pacino and the police captain
Yeah.
and the other mob boss. I forget which
Okay,
one.
so you got McCluskey,
McCluskey,
Captain
yes.
McCluskey, and then you've got Salazzo.
It was so stereotypical. It was stereotypical Irish.
He was such a stereotypical concierge.
No, the cop.
No, I'm just kidding.
Like he was just playing like it was stereotypes.
Yeah, I mean, he
going
was
on.
straight off the
absolutely.
old. He
Absolutely.
was straight off the old Batman TV show. you know?
Yeah, like he was like O'Hare.
Okay. So I don't buy into movies, right?
Okay.
When I'm watching them, I'm like, I'm watching a movie. I watch it. I think things about it. I know it's a movie, right?
Mhm.
That scene when he gets up to go get the gun out of the bathroom,
You were stressed.
I could feel my heart in my throat, dude. And not that I was scared or whatever, but it's just like, like
It's going to go down, is what you're
this
thinking.
movie
Yeah.
gave me a physical reaction.
Right.
Like in that scene.
And it didn't stop there.
It changed me physically.
Right.
My heart was like gunk, 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 gunk.
Yeah, me
gunk.
too.
Like, what is going to happen?
Okay.
Because I was sitting there thinking, like, oh my God, he came back out of the bathroom not with the gun like he was told to do. So now it's going to be a whole judgment thing. When do I do this? And you knew he made the decision, but then when he puts his hand on his head when he fixes his hair before he comes out of the bathroom, you're thinking, okay, is he second guessing? Is he thinking? Because when he did the head tilt and he's like, okay, I need to go to the bathroom. When he said, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
His directions were come out of the bathroom, firing,
Mm-hmm.
boom, boom, twice in the head for each of them.
And drop the gun.
Drop the gun immediately, walk out of the place quickly.
Right.
Don't run, just walk fast out of there. Drop the gun, leave. He didn't do any of that.
No.
None of it. He came out of the bathroom. Neither guy was looking at him. He could have just quick popped both of them right there, and he didn't. And he goes and he sits down at the table, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yep.
What the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, and I get it. Like, was he going to shoot these guys in the back of the head? Like, no. He's not like that. He's going to shoot you in the face.
And the throat.
And you're going to see
And
him
the
shoot
throat.
you in the face. Yeah. Like no, not in the back of the head like a coward. You don't see it coming. No.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Yeah.
Now, George,
So good. Very
did you
stressful.
know
though.
that if you let him, a lot of movies can make your body feel things?
No, I mean,
You gotta let
it's
him
not
in,
my
man.
it's not my style. The movie has to work. I'm playing hard to get with movies. It's just the way I've always
The
been.
movie has to lock the passenger
That's
door,
not- that's
pretend
not
to run out of
changing.
gas.
Well, I have noticed the movies that are giving him the feels or the changing his structure are some of the best movies ever made. So that makes sense. Like Silence of the Lambs probably affected you
I have high
physically.
standards.
Would I say Jackie Brown kind of was
He was
there
into
for you?
Jackie
A
Brown,
little bit.
man.
You were into that.
It was a very good movie.
But it had the same thing, that stressful situation type stuff where it's like,
Yes.
it's real life. It's not going to happen to you, but it's still real life. And they tell a story so well that you feel enough for these characters that you're going to cheer him on for the headshot.
Yes.
Like you're sitting there going, I hope he does this right.
Yes.
As opposed to be like, wow, I'm watching a movie where people are killing each other. Like you're sitting there going, yeah, where's the second shot? You were told 2 shots in the head. Drop the gun.
He does everything wrong.
Yeah.
He comes back and he sits at the table. That's not what he told you to do. He shoots the guy in the throat and the head, and once in the head, and not twice. And I don't even know about the other guy. And then he starts walking out of the restaurant with the gun in his hand, and he's like, "Oh shit, I got to drop this," and he does.
In
but
Pacino style, like he flipped it. Like it was like
a bat flip.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
It was almost like he was disgusted with it.
Ugh.
I have to go back and watch it again. But
you feel that way towards every character. Like when Sonny finds out about his sister being beaten up, and he does his fist bite. You're cheering him on to kill this guy. Like you want him to go and beat the shit out to oblivion this husband, this brother-in-law.
Yeah.
You're not cheering on Sonny's death, but they do it in a way that you're cheering death this whole movie. You're like, yes, that needs to happen. That's a successful movie because you're not supposed to think that this is necessary. You don't want it to happen.
No, organized crime is not something it's not a good thing.
Right.
It's not, except it kind of is.
But
it's pretty good.
It's kind of lost. The organized crime part is kind of lost. It's a family. You're like watching it.
I know.
They're family.
Isn't that crazy that like none of the business is even like, well, very little business is talked in this movie. Very little.
It's true. It's all about family. It's stuff like if you found out your sister, something happened to your sister, you would want to go take care of it. Like it's not so much the organized crime as it is just these people are taking care of each other in a weird way.
These people are taking care of each other in the most extreme way.
Yep.
Yeah, the crime is secondary to the family.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you talk about this movie, The Godfather, what's it about? First and foremost, it's about family. It's about the Corleones. Oh, but
it's
also
like Texas Chainsaw. It's Texas Chainsaw. It's about the family.
Yo, Travis can find Texas Chainsaw Massacre in any movie.
Yes.
I mean, it's not
any movie is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It's not that big a reach, though. I mean, you got the old guy who's like unrecognizable, just like the guy in the family, and you got the brothers who one of them's kind of knucklehead, and
short-tempered,
and you get this poor innocent woman who gets trapped in the family. I mean, guys, this is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I guess you could say what's his name? Who's the muscle?
Luca?
Yeah, he's kind of like the wheelchair dude. A little bit.
I don't know. I wasn't cheering for him to be out of the movie though. I like Luca.
Yeah, but they kind of didn't give him showing him rehearsing what he was going to say.
Oh, it's so good.
Is hilarious on many levels. Like I was watching it thinking, okay, how good of an actor is this guy? Not only is he playing a guy who's supposed to be acting bad, like he's doing it on purpose. He's reading lines that he memorized, and he's reading them like they're being read, and he's badly acting on purpose.
Yeah,
that's good shit.
But then when he turns it on, like he's totally good. Like he has, he's not just a bad actor. He is a guy who he proves to you by the end that like, oh no, he's a hell of an actor. He just had me going with that opening part.
Yeah, but when he's talking to Don Corleone, he still sounds rehearsed.
Oh yeah, super nervous.
Yeah, super nervous. Yeah. That's hard to do. That's like playing a drunk. Playing a drunk's hard to do.
What was the situation? I forget what the situation was, and I forget who delivered the line. But basically, they were talking about, like basically like a truce, or like they were talking about like retaliation or not retaliating or whatever. And basically the line was like, well, I can't tell you that Luca's not going to do what needs to be done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like even if I tell Luca no, like not to, like he's going to.
He's too loyal.
Right, exactly. Yeah. He's like, I can't speak for him. I forget what the situation was, but Luca had already been taken care of at that point. But the character delivering that line didn't know that. Maybe it was Tom who delivered that line.
Right.
Right? Because they were. I think
so.
the situation was they were trying to he's trying to convince
trying
Tom
to diffuse it, and they're saying he's going to go and do what
and
he has to do.
he's like, yeah, dude, I can't.
trigger
like
this.
Luca's gonna do
Yeah.
what Luca's gonna do, man. So I can't guarantee you that. But that is Luca. Like
Mhm.
that's that character.
He's swimming with the fishes.
It's fucking Chris Christie, man. It's Luca. Looks just like Chris Christie.
I'm gonna put
Look
him
it
in
up side by side, just like fucking Chris Christie.
I'm gonna put him in a beach chair.
You should Photoshop that shit.
You Photoshop him on
man.
one side of the bridge looking all stern at Salazzo on the other side of the bridge.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, jeez Louise. Governors are funny.
Oh man, something just popped in my head. I love the fact that Brando's character seems aloof,
Mm-hmm.
but he's sharp as hell. Like,
yeah.
when he says to Michael, this is going to go down. They're going to plan this. They're going to do this. Like, he knows what's going to happen, even though he's kind of playing the retired, loopy kind of. I'm out of this.
Yeah, and he keeps repeating himself. Like
Yeah,
he's
it's
got a bit of dementia or something. Like
but he's still sharp enough to be onto them.
Right, but that's his. Basically, the way I saw that line being delivered, more than once over and over again. It's kind of like, yeah, he was thinking this kind of shit for probably 20 hours a day.
Oh yeah,
for 70 years.
And he let his guard down one day, and he got gunned down.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that's just the way his mind is. And so even in his very old age, even when his mind is going, that's where his mind goes.
Because he did the same thing at the meeting, all the families.
Yes.
When he brings up things on purpose to kind of bring to light who's actually the one pulling the strings and the one who's trying to get him ousted. When one family member is basically...
Well, he was still super with it at that point.
Yeah, that was before he retired.
But what I'm saying is they were all saying he's out of it. He's not...
Right.
Thinking,
he definitely was not
he completely
out of it.
was.
Yes.
That was their excuse to get rid of him, was to say that he was soft.
His
because
discussion,
he didn't want to do the drug thing.
Right.
Yeah, his discussion with Michael when, he tells him they're going to set you up. This one's going to propose the meeting. He's the one that betrays you.
Mm-hmm.
The way that he's like repeating it and focusing on it, it's like, it gives me the impression that it's like the last thing he's holding on to, right? Like the thing that keeps him in it, the thing that the reason for him being still is to, at this point, warn Michael that this is going to happen. And once he gets that warning across, then he can kind of let go a little bit.
Yeah, look what happens when he finally just enjoys his grandson. He dies.
Yeah.
That was
a great
time,
scene.
Man. It was his time. He got by the oranges, the doomed oranges. I mean, that's one thing we could point out. As, I'm not saying that Coppola is a Kubrick who makes perfect movies where even the mistakes are perfect. But did you notice, George, when Vito gets gunned down, he is buying fruit.
Yes.
So there's oranges in the shot and he falls and the oranges roll out.
Yes.
When he dies, there's oranges. Like there's this kind of, I don't know if it's supposed to be circular or if it's supposed to be symbolic. I don't really get like the direct image of an orange and what that has to do with the death of Vito, but it's there in both scenes on purpose.
I noticed the tomatoes. I didn't even notice. I know he was doing the mouth thing with the orange.
Yeah, there's an orange on the counter. It's been cut open for him to do the mouth thing. So here's the thing that's weird though. At the beginning of the movie, at the wedding, there's like a featured orange bit.
Nice.
And so like if the other two are Vito, like Vito's mortality in a fruit, like I don't really get why there's one at the wedding. Like I almost feel like that is an idea that's like incomplete and not resolved. Maybe a mistake. Maybe we could have had some other featured fruit at the wedding. Unless you're going to try to tie it into Michael somehow. Like
maybe
Michael's
a Pasadena
back.
fruit?
I was thinking like maybe it's just a foreshadowing, like the orange is going to be important.
I don't know, man. But like it has nothing to do with the wedding, except that Michael's coming back, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe that everything goes full circle?
I don't know. That's why I guess maybe you could like. I think to complete the 3 as a plan, you have to make up a lot, right? You have to add stuff that's not there to make the 3 connect.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I like the 2. I like, oranges, man. Every time he's around oranges, we know that something's going to go down. But like at the wedding itself, nothing really goes down except Michael comes back. So
Right.
are they Michael's oranges? Why does Michael keep killing his dad with oranges? I don't get it.
When I must have missed it. When did the husband, the brother-in-law, finally get involved in the family business? Because I remember when they first got married, they said, "Don't let him know about the family business. Don't let him get involved." Then he beats his wife up. Sonny wants to kill him, and then Michael takes charge, and all of a sudden he's part of the family, and he's doing Vegas stuff, and then obviously he winds up getting whacked.
Spoiler alert.
I don't know that they ever actually give you the scene in the movie when he gets his assignment.
Okay, so he's just all of a sudden working for the family. So
I mean, a
didn't
lot
miss
of time
anything.
passes. You get a lot of time that he could have. But you're right. I don't think you get an explicit him joining the family business scene.
No.
Unless he's called up right as Vito gets, like when Vito's out of commission, maybe they promote him or bring him in, but I don't know if you ever get it. It's probably in the book. Did you guys know this is a book?
Yes.
No.
I have the book. I read it years ago. I know I own a book, guys. Watch out. I don't mean to brag. I own a book.
I have many leather-bound books.
Must be one of them smart fellers.
I was reading while I was watching a movie a couple days ago, because there's some stuff we'll talk about. And my kid's like, "Oh, you're reading a book." And I'm like, "Yes, I can read." Ugh. So I need to read more books around my kids. But anyway, my copy is a paperback from before the movie came out. It says soon a major motion picture from Paramount.
Oh, wow.
I was like, "Oh, wow, this is old. I don't know where I got it. Must have been Amazon or."
I don't have that book. I have the Goodfellas book, but I don't have the.
You're
I have
missing
the Henry Hill book.
I think by the end of this podcast, you're gonna feel like you're missing out. I'm gonna put a little teaser in right now. Jeez Louise, guys, that book.
Yeah.
Woof.
Wolf.
Hey, so Captain McCluskey.
Yeah.
I haven't watched this movie in a while. It's been, probably. Well, let's put it this way. I own it on Blu-ray, but I had to open the Blu-ray to watch it.
Oh, wow.
So I by the way, the Blu-ray sucks. I really hope we get a 4K restoration. Like there's scenes in here where it looks like they took a computer and retroactively like deleted parts of the scene.
Woof.
Because of like weird black level issues and stuff. It's horrible. It's one of the worst blues I've watched. Compression all over the place. Like, ew, guys, this movie's too good for this. Anyway.
Yeah, right.
So going back today, after the last 10 years of me watching all kinds of both garbage movies and like nostalgic old Hollywood stuff I should have seen years ago, Captain McCluskey comes on the scene and I go, "Holy shit, it's the guy from The Killing." And it was.
Oh, yeah.
Sterling Hayden is the lead in The Killing, which is directed by Kubrick. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. And he's a hell of an actor. I mean, he's pretty good in this, but he was also good as the lead. He's also in The Asphalt Jungle, right? Super famous movie. His character name in that movie is Dix Handley. Guys.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And I was so happy to see him in this movie.
Hells yeah. Wait, I'm looking for a text from Meg about this. I'm not saying it.
Hey, but then the other guy in this movie that made me clap my hands as if I was seeing a family member after years of not seeing them. Guys.
Yeah.
Joe Spinell is in this movie.
Oh my God, not Joe Spinell.
Joe Spinell, who you would know
who is he?
From nothing. But he plays a really gross, creepy, corrupt cop in the movie Cruisin, which I'm going to make you guys watch at some point.
No, we're
Opposite Al Pacino. It's such a good... Well, it's a really horrible movie, but he's really good in it. Spinell is. Also, he's from the movie Maniac, which was remade years later with some famous person in the role. Elijah Wood, maybe? But anyway, the original Maniac, one of the grossest, weirdest 80s, like, grindhouse movies.
Hmm.
Joe Spinell, and he's like the guy that locks the revolving door and shoots the guy in it at the end.
Yes.
But he's like a
Oh,
sort of
yeah, I've
famous
seen
cult
him in,
actor.
Wasn't he in Rocky?
I have no idea. I've never seen Rocky.
Ooh, really? Are we
Any
going
of
to keep
them.
watching good movies? Because we probably ought to watch Rocky.
But I believe he's the loan shark that Rocky works for. Look that up.
Yeah, Joe Spinell. He plays a character in Rocky called Gazzo.
Gazzo, yeah.
So yeah, I didn't remember him being in that. When we watch Rocky, I'm going to go, it's Joe Spinell.
Spinell.
You know what movie kept popping into my head as I was watching today, catching up on the end of The Godfather? Batman 89, dude, steals the color palette from Godfather. It steals like the kind of time period automobiles. Like they always say, oh, you know, it's like a German expressionist mixed with some kind of timeless 1930s-ish. No, it's The Godfather. I mean, the buildings are expressionist, and the Batmobile looks like a German dick, kind of. German expressionist dick, with a big fin on the end. Love that Batmobile. But the color palette is The Godfather.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah,
like,
very dreary, very like drab.
Down to
what year is this movie?
72.
72. I was gonna say 74, but 72 sounds
Okay.
good.
And then 89.
Yeah, so
Batman,
good movies can be made in the 70s.
Absolutely.
yeah, man.
Well,
And,
they're not really.
You know, this movie takes place in Italy a little bit, so like it's kind of my jam.
There's really no
Yeah, word.
effects, so you don't have to. You're not gonna suffer from that.
A little.
There's
I
a
mean, we
lot of
talked
good
about the blood,
squibs, though.
the blood issue, but yeah, the shots, that's all good. Like the bladders exploding, but there's no like makeup going on.
Ooh, but there is
a
one
little bit
part.
of makeup.
I don't want to already get to the stuff I want to complain about, but here's one. The awesome scene at the restaurant, the double.
Yeah,
Is it a murder? The
headshot.
double business, right? The wet work from Michael.
Yeah.
As I was saying earlier, McCluskey's played by Sterling Hayden, who's like a famous Hollywood actor. I don't think he wanted to do his own coverage because as Michael's leaving the restaurant, it looks like a dummy on the ground.
Really?
Skin color's all weird and it looks kind of like mummified. Like it's not a great dummy. Or Sterling Hayden is not breathing and someone needs to check on him because his skin's all blue.
Khan did it.
Yeah.
Khan laid in that street for a while.
Well, but he was still, coming up in the world, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Hayden, he's already made, man. He was in the Asphalt Jungle. Jeez Louise. Dix. Handley.
Dix.
Handley.
From Pasadena.
Have you ever seen Asphalt Jungle, Travis? I know George hasn't.
I might have. But
You should watch
not
that
enough
movie.
to remember it.
It's really good. Like, it's really, really good. Oh, my God. And Sterling Hayden, he's real good. Dix. Handley.
I'm gonna watch that movie just for that
name.
guy's name.
Okay, we'll
I
do that
think
next
it
week.
might be.
What's up?
I think it might be my next pick for my my mistress, the little movie club that I got going on the side.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
You're still diddling them?
Every now and then.
Jeez.
Can't you tell he's still a little too tired for us?
Every now and then. Because here's the thing.
I forgot to watch the greatest movie ever made. Guess we have to record later.
Every couple of weeks, I get to pick the movie. And most of the time, somebody else picks a movie and I'm like, I ain't gonna watch that. And I don't. So like there's really no commitment on my part. And also every now and then I get to make a bunch of people watch.
You should watch Bachelor Party.
A movie that I like. Right?
We should watch Bachelor Party. That movie rocks.
But I think that if I watch, what is that called? What was it? Asphalt Jungle?
Asphalt Jungle.
If I watch that and I like it, I might make everyone in that little movie club that I have watch it just for that guy's name.
I think for shits and giggles, you should watch Cruisin.
I'm telling you, man. I think that we wouldn't. I think that it would be worth it to watch Cruising to talk about the things that are wrong with it and the performances. But you would just, would
it ever make it to a film class is the question.
I don't know. It's really good. It's a good movie. It's a well-intended movie.
Okay.
I think in today's society as it is, I think it's like a level 3, like a 300 level film class where you can look at it and be like, this movie has great performances. What the fuck were they thinking? Because there is some really bad stuff in it, which kind of ruins it as a mainstream movie, but there's some really good stuff in it too.
There's like 9 Pacino movies that I watched before I watched Cruisin. Like, if I told any film buff that we watched Cruisin before we watched Dog Day Afternoon, they would laugh at us.
The main actor
Scarface.
in the movie Scent of a Woman.
Yeah. Hoo-ah.
Was that Pacino?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
But that's Pacino ascended,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah, that's Pacino after Devil's Advocate.
can we watch Devil's Advocate?
That's one of the
that
movies.
I love that movie.
That Scent of a Woman is one of the movies that I know Pacino from.
Yeah. And he got nominated for that.
And he should have.
But it was the
Phenomenal,
eccentric Pacino. It wasn't this Pacino.
Right.
It was the Scarface Pacino.
So, guys, another scene we have to talk about, the initial offer that Waltz, the producer, can't refuse. Holy moly. It happens early in the movie, so it's not fresh on your mind and we just watch it. But, dudes.
It's such a Sopranos moment. When I was watching this, I was like, damn, that's like, if it was 1975 or 6, and I was like a young writer, and I saw that scene, I would have developed The Sopranos from just watching that scene.
Okay, so about that scene. I had no idea that the horse head was going to be under the covers.
Right.
Oh, yeah, man.
How the fuck did it get under the covers? That's so creepy. No, I thought like horse head was like something that you find on your lawn when you come home.
Right. No, in your bed.
It's in your bed, and even then I'm thinking it's something that you find in your bed when you walk into your bedroom. Oh my God, there's a horse head on my bed.
Right.
No, this is a horse head in your bed with you,
While
under
you're
the between the sheets, betwixt the sheets with you.
The satin sheets.
Horse head.
Ugh,
And
so
like the
good.
blood all over him, so you know that like it wasn't
was
just
sitting there for a while.
slid under the feet, like it traveled a little bit. Ew.
Gross.
It's so good.
Also, I've heard of the horse head thing, like around town. I guess.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
kind
know.
of become a meme.
But the significance of the horse in this movie, I saw the horse.
Mm-hmm.
I hear him bragging about the horse, and I never once thought that horse's head's gonna end up in his bed. but I knew that. I knew that was gonna happen.
It was coming. Right.
It was in my brain. Like I've heard this before. This scene, I've heard about it. But the scene is happening right in front of me. There's a $600,000 horse.
Yep.
In today's money, I don't even know how much that horse would cost. And I'm not thinking I'm not thinking, hey, that horse's head is gonna end up in that guy's betwixt the sheets with him.
Gave him a offer he couldn't refuse. Right.
So anyway, another thing that I've heard a million times from this movie, never knew it was from this movie. Leave the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Take the cannolis.
Yes,
Listen,
sir.
There's so many quotes in this movie.
I've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a funny line. I had no idea what it was from. Everyone delivers it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because the line is, leave the gun. Pause. No, take the cannolis.
Right.
Like, it's like it's like an, I don't know how to explain it. It's like an awkward,
very animated.
it's like an awkward, like, you idiot
Right.
kind of moment.
Right.
Like,
You can't leave those.
like it's it's like a guy giving directions. Like, it's not like it when I hear it, it sounds like an adage or like
Right.
a common sense leave the gun.
It's
take the
very
cannolis.
stereotypical because it's almost
This-
like in the Goodfellas. You haven't seen you saw Goodfellas,
When
right?
it was delivered, I know the guy is gonna get whacked, right?
Right.
I know the guy's gonna get whacked. I know that they're gonna go pick up cannolis.
Mm-hmm.
This scene, I should know that this line is going to be delivered at the end of this scene. and it gets delivered, and I'm like, how did I not ever see this before in my life? How did I not know that is where that line came from? It's beautiful, and I love it.
Well, it gets butchered. It sounds like it's almost like a slogan for a restaurant. Like,
Right.
But yeah, it's just his verbal reaction to them forgetting the cannolis. You know, he's correcting an action that isn't spoken. So there's that
This
pause.
guy just got whacked.
Yeah.
And he's like,
there could be blood on those
You're
cannolis.
forgetting the cannolis.
Right.
You
what
idiot.
we came for. We need those.
Right.
Is Clemenza everybody else's favorite character? Because I think he's my favorite character.
He's up there.
He's so likable, and he's just genuine. He's like well-intentioned, loyal, good with a shotgun.
Yeah, he reminds me of Big Pussy.
Yeah.
Like that character on The Sopranos was basically this guy. Definitely.
What do you guys think about that scene when Michael's working with the gun? And, you know, he has trouble with the trigger at first, and he looks hesitant and all this. But then the way that he pulls the trigger at the end, click, no bullet, and he looks kind of shocked that there's no bullet, and then it cuts. Like, that's Coppola doing some work, man. Just building that, like, is he going to be able to do it? I don't know. He's hesitant. He doesn't know what he's doing. Oh, his gun's unloaded. Like, I don't know, man. It just adds an unsure nature to that upcoming scene in a way that's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
And on paper, it's just like, oh, he pulls the trigger and cut. Like, it's good stuff, man.
I really wish I wrote down some of the quotes from because there's a lot of shit in here, like you said, that you hear all the time, but you forget it's from this movie. And
or you just never know in the first place, like me.
I hear a lot of them on the radio. They use them as, like, you know, sound bites.
Filler. Yeah, sound bites.
Like, you can act like a man. Like, people do that all the time. What's the matter with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I love
Good
the
shit.
line, there is no girl like that in this town. Of course, it's subtitled, so Travis might have missed it because he doesn't like subtitles. But
Actually, I was watching it in subtitles. I was going to tell you that. I did watch this with subtitles.
Well, there you go. It's good practice. But no, the reaction on the dad's face, and you realize, like, you know, dramatic irony wise, you know that that's that girl's dad, but they don't know that that's girl's dad. Poor Apollonia's dad at the store. So good.
Well, that whole situation set up beautifully how good Michael is manipulating a situation and turning it around. Like, you see him in that situation, and he is the boss.
He's the opposite of Sonny.
He is
He's
the Don.
calm, cool,
Yes.
and collected.
Yes,
Right.
he is the Don. They just were talking about this guy's daughter like she was like a piece of ass, which they were.
Was he involved in that discussion at all, or was it just his two buddies and the dad? Because I don't think he's like sleazy enough to have participated.
He's the Don. Okay, he's not going to participate in that conversation. That's the point. Right. And the other guys, you know, are talking about how Michael was like enthralled with this chick,
hit by a thunderbolt.
Exactly. And so he's not taking part in the conversation except for, you know, kind of like shooing
like
these
physical
guys,
presence
like
in the conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. He hasn't gotten up
we
to
just
leave,
stop talking about it.
Yeah.
But when, you know, he goes into asks the guy to come back out, and he just the way he handles that, it's like, dude, he is the Don, man. It's so good. This whole movie, I don't know what it is, man. Like, sometimes I think like my generation gets a bad rap because they're like, oh, your generation wants everything instantly. No, I don't. I loved watching Pacino become the Godfather. I loved watching it, all 3 hours of it.
Would have been better as a TikTok.
No, it was beautiful. And if it was shorter, and if they didn't do the character justice, and they didn't like it just wouldn't have been as good.
Everything that happens in this movie happens for a reason.
Yeah.
You can't cut any of it.
Well, and even
You can't.
Johnny Fontaine at the beginning, you're like, oh, okay, this just shows how the Dawn is like operating. Okay, cool. But then he shows up at the end and you're like, oh, no, we needed him for Vegas. Like everything in this movie is needed.
Absolutely.
There is a moment in Italy where in my head I go, is this movie meandering? And seriously, as I finished that word in my head, cut back
Boom,
to New York.
explosion.
I was like, oh, dude. Okay. No, I knew about the explosion part. This was just a cut back to New York. But I was just like, man, okay. Like, yeah, no, this is good. This is a good movie, it turns out.
Yeah, they do a good job of showing time by just giving you little snippets.
Yeah.
Of things going on.
Yeah, how crazy was it when Michael went back to the school after being in Italy or whatever?
Yeah,
and
after the
coming
woman
back.
blows up, he goes to visit Kay.
And all the kids
Yeah,
like
he goes-
stand in the middle of the road, and I'm like, get the kids out of the road.
Yeah, yeah. When he goes back to Kay, and she's like, "How long have you been back?" And he was like, "About a year."
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah. And then he says to her in that scene about, I want to be with you. I want to have our children. And then the next scene, he's in a car with like a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so I guess they have children.
Yeah.
So I mean, they don't really spend too much time.
Yeah, and the plan was at that point, like in 5 years, we're going to be totally legit.
Right.
Which
Fucking Fredo.
they don't really, I don't know, man. I think that this movie reminds me of Jax from Sons of Anarchy. If you've ever seen that series. Obviously, Sons of Anarchy comes way after this, but I loved Sons of Anarchy until I watched this, and now I'm like, yo, Sons of Anarchy is just like a motorcycle version and not nearly as good, and took 7 seasons to get to the point that this movie took 3 hours to get to, and did it way, way, way better.
It's Coppola.
So good.
Coppola. Where do you see Dracula?
Like, if I had seen this
Dude,
movie and then
yes.
watched Sons of Anarchy, I would have been like, yo, this is garbage. If I had seen this movie first. Because now I'm watching this movie and I'm thinking of all the other things that I've seen that are all garbage compared to this.
Sorry.
It's going to be a
Maybe
tough
we
act
should've
to
waited.
follow. Like, I don't know.
Maybe we should have held this movie a little longer because we're going to be showing him a lot of crap.
Well, they can't all be steak, man. Sometimes you just
That's
got to
true.
have a Pop-Tart.
Cheeseburger. Yeah, a Pop-Tart.
So it's the best thing you've seen yet, you think, George? Better than Silence, maybe? Or at least up there?
I have to do some thinking about that. It's in the top 3, for sure.
What's the rest of
It
the top
might-
3?
it
Just so
might
we
be
get it
number 1.
on tape. What are your top 3 that we've shown you so far?
Not in any particular order because I haven't thought about it enough to rank them. But this is in the top 3. Silence is in the top 3, and The Shining is in the top 3.
All right. That's good. Some recent stuff on there. We're not just living in the past. We're kind of still finding stuff you like. That makes me feel like we know what we're doing.
And I'm aware of like recency bias, and I don't think that that's
No.
what this is.
This is one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah,
so
no,
I don't really think-
like
Yeah.
The Shining I just watched. So
Right.
like, is that just in my top 3 because I just watched it? I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think so.
And it's funny how these lists happen and work because people will tell you, well, you're supposed to pick, Citizen Kane as your favorite movie of all time. I don't think you would like Citizen Kane. You might. I don't know.
I kind of want to watch it because like everyone says that I should.
Right. But it's like when I hear
But
the
hey,
movies
listen,
you do like.
I'm going to enjoy shitting on it if I don't like it though. So let's do it. But whatever.
We'll have to, yes. But it's funny, like some people are like, oh no, this movie. And then you're like, that's not even in my top 100. So
Yeah.
you just never know.
I mean, I have other movies that are like my personal like number ones that
Right.
we haven't done on the podcast that I watched way before we ever started a podcast. Like American Beauty is, I think, my number 1 most favorite movie of all time.
It's definitely the movie you talk about the most. That and 7.
Travis talks about 7.
You both
I
talk
love
about
7.
7.
Well, I mean, I know about 7. That was like one of the first movies that grabbed me because Travis made me watch it. But it's not. I mean,
in terms of complexity, like I don't think Godfather has any complexity to it. It's just great storytelling.
yeah.
But when you think of a story that has multi-layers, just ridiculous things have to happen, but you don't know why they're happening, but then it all gets tied up, and then you realize it as a whole that it's amazing story. That's the way I look at 7. It's so complex.
Wow.
Same thing with The Shining. I think The Shining has so many different levels to it. You can look at it like we've talked before. You can look at it as just a scary psycho thriller. It could be a ghost story. It could be a flat out horror slasher. Like it has all these different aspects to it. And then there's the movie in your own head.
Yeah.
So to me, I look at this movie as a great movie. Godfather's a great movie, but it's very simple.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
Yep.
Do you want me to break it wide open for you guys? Are you ready for this? Is it time? Have we gotten to that point?
We're going to find out that John Carpenter did something in 1978.
No, Fabio Testi played a character in...
Dude, Fabio Testi was at his peak, like, during the filming of this movie. Like, you could have a Fabio Testi appearance in this movie. Huh, it'd be brilliant.
Maybe the walls in this movie.
How
He's
thick
still
are those
going back
walls?
to Pasadena walls.
The Pasadena walls. That's going to be on a t-shirt one day.
Yeah, why didn't they have, like, some famous Giallo people, like, play like the henchmen in the Italy scenes?
Because I think at the time, Giallo movies were seen as kind of garbage. I know that surprises you guys, but
At the time?
until they were discovered by Americans like John Carpenter and Dan from the Remedial Film Class podcast, Giallo were
discovered by John Carpenter after he made all the Halloween
Oh yeah, he saw
movies?
those later. That's what he said.
Right.
Saw,
Sure.
I saw this when he was making, Serpent. Was it Serpent on the Rainbow? Yeah.
So here's the deal,
Okay.
guys. Giallo, I think, were pretty much like, and I wasn't there, but I get the impression from stuff at the time that basically it's like one step above soap opera in terms of like quality of entertainment.
Or one step below, depending on who you ask.
I mean, there's a lot more boobs in Giallo, but
I'm just kidding. Listen, dude. You do you.
Hey.
Keep going.
so it's not just the boobs; it's also the fake blood. I like that. No. Anyway,
Fake blood on boobs. You have
not
Dan's attention.
not in Britain. That'll get you cut out of the BBFC right away.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, fair. Like, okay.
Not the 3M because it doesn't look real.
Well, take that up with the censor board. I don't know.
It just doesn't photograph well.
It looks good in the jar.
Looks great in the jar. Just doesn't photograph well.
Sorry, Tom. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. So
That
guys,
man's a treasure.
I
He is a
mentioned
treasure.
I mentioned earlier the movie The Godfather based on a book of the same name written by Mario Puzo. Is that how you say that? Puzo? Puzo?
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
You got to put your hand up when you say it, though.
Okay, guys.
You gotta squeeze your butt cheeks. Puzzo.
Puzzo.
That feels like appropriation. So guys, Godfather the book sold a lot of copies, attracted the attention of these guys and Coppola, who, thank God, Coppola worked on the screenplay with Puzo.
Yes.
Guys, this
It
book.
could just be Puzo.
Are you? I don't think you're prepared for what I'm about to talk about, listeners.
Go ahead.
Listeners, sit up straight. This is a true story. What if I told you there was a substantial through the book subplot about a woman's cavernous vagina?
What?
Guys,
What about
it? Guys, the book The Godfather is insane. Okay, stick with me. This actually
Whose?
exists. This exists.
Is it K's?
I forget
Kay's vagina?
I forget the character's name, guys. Did I write it down? Oh shit!
Oh,
I
so
took
it's a character that's
screenshots.
not
Hold on.
Apollonia, is it?
No.
Okay.
So let me get you, because I had to take screenshots of the book. I'm going to read you passages from the book because you don't believe me
God.
yet, guys.
I believe you.
Guys. Okay. Now I'm gonna. Yeah,
You don't have to read
I
it,
just
but
snorted on national television.
I need you to understand that this exists in the movie, but just barely. Okay, just the tip.
I
didn't see
believe
any
you.
vaginas
I
in this
believe
movie.
you, but for maybe some of our listeners that
That don't believe me.
that are unsure,
Hmm.
please read the
Carry on.
Okay.
excerpt about the
Carry on,
cavernous
Garth.
vagina. Go ahead.
Let's just start here.
For our listeners. Go ahead.
Santino, okay, Sonny, who I think we all appreciate. I think we all felt really sad when he got killed. I always do.
Hmm.
It's a bummer,
Yeah,
man.
but you knew it was coming because he was too hot.
He was
a
popping
hothead.
off, man.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So the thing with
It's a shame,
Santino,
but
with Sonny, is he has this uncontrollable rage,
Sexual urge.
right? Now,
Right.
yeah.
in the book, they talk substantially about how gigantic that man's dick is. Okay,
They do talk about that.
and they
Okay.
they
Yeah.
mention it at the wedding scene at the beginning. The wife
Yes.
is doing the Subway $5 footlong thing.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Guys,
But you're not supposed to know it's his wife when she's doing that.
but
You're supposed to just think she's one of his hussies.
dudes,
Is his wife the one with the?
She's the one doing this.
No, I get that. I get
Okay.
that.
He pinches the bridesmaid, and he says, "Hey, watch the children," and she's like, "You watch yourself," because she knows
Right.
he's gonna go bang that bridesmaid, and he
Right.
does because of his giant uncontrollable dick energy. I guess this
Mhm.
movie is kind of troublesome. Like it's not all good, guys. Okay, this is an actual quote describing Sonny. This is, guys, page 15 of the book. Right, we are just getting started. He, quote from the book, he was built as powerfully as a bull, and it was common knowledge that he was so generously endowed by nature that his martyred wife feared the marriage bed as unbelievers once feared the rack.
Oh my god.
Guys,
Okay.
That's
page
hot.
15.
Wait. Does this have pictures?
No,
This
it's a
book?
novel.
Oh,
It's a big
damn.
boy book. But so, guys,
How can you read this?
Guys,
There's no
this
pictures.
There's no continues.
pictures.
this is the same. I'm not even ending the quote. This continues from the book.
Gaston reference.
It was a
Holy
Beauty and the Beast.
shit.
It was real
How
good.
could you read this? There's no pictures.
Guys, I'm continuing the quote. It was whispered that when as a youth he had visited houses of ill fame, even the most hardened and fearless, I don't want to say this word because it's probably
Slower?
a slur, Putain. Is that like an Italian slur for
Isn't
women?
that the prime minister
Wait,
of
say
Russia?
spell it again.
Yeah, it's Putin with an A in there. Putain.
Puntan.
It's
Oh,
hor-
okay. So it's like a
Whore,
it's like
I
a
assume.
whore. Yeah.
After an odd inspection of his massive organ, demanded double price.
Wow.
Page 15.
That's a massive organ
Dude,
if it's commanding that kind of
okay.
compensation.
So this character in the book, Lucy Mancini, who is like, I think, maybe the bridesmaid at the wedding, actually, that he's hooking up with, because it's like his side chick.
Hmm.
They go into excruciating detail about how up until she meets Sonny, she feels like unvalidated as a woman because she has a giant vagina. And so she feels like a regular sized, dick doesn't
So
do
they
it
fit
for
together.
her. And so he's like, he is
Well,
the
that's-
heel and she is the
Yeah.
slipper in the Cinderella story.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Guys,
Sounds like that Cinemax movie Cinderella.
Oh no, I was thinking that's such a wonderful
Super
Uh,
pretty. It's beautiful.
okay.
it's a wonderful
So this
story.
is weird, right? That's a weird choice.
It's
But it
love.
gets worse.
Oh god.
Because eventually, after Sonny gets killed, she's listless and lost, right? Because
Mhm.
there's no ankle to fill her slipper anymore.
Sure.
And so she meets this doctor in Vegas who decides he's going to take it upon himself to fix her issues
Hmm.
for himself to enjoy.
Oh, so he's too small, so he needs to tighten things up.
But he takes it upon himself, guys. I mean, oh geez.
I'm glad they did not write any of this into the movie.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm trying to
Not
find there's a
necessary.
couple of quotes in here where it's just like So at one point they hook up, okay? And they finish up. And she, of course, is immediately like, oh, I was terrible. I'm not built for this, whatever. Oh, jeez Louise. Guys.
Who wrote this?
Listen to this. This is another quote from the book. Like, I swear to God, this is actual.
It's like Penthouse Forum.
Jules lit a cigarette and put it in her mouth so that she choked on the smoke and had to stop crying about her giant vagina.
No,
this is real. I added about her giant vagina, but that's why she's crying.
Okay.
No.
Did she say, go get me a beer?
I wish. Now listen to this. Okay, he says, quote, now listen to me, he said. If you had had a decent modern raising with a family culture that was part of the 20th century, geez, guys, Italian hating much? Your problem would have been solved years ago. Now let me tell you what your problem is. It's not the equivalent of being ugly, of having bad skin and squinty eyes that facial surgery won't really solve. Your problem is like having a wart or a mole on your chin, or an improperly formed ear. Stop thinking of it in sexual terms. Stop thinking in your head that you have a... This is actually from the text, a, quote, big box no man can love.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Because it won't... listen to this. Because it won't give his penis the necessary friction. Guys, I am reading to you from The Godfather, the
That's
book
so weird,
that your
dude.
movie is based on.
This is so... Dude.
Oh my
If you're
God.
making this shit up, this is a really
He wrote this
extravagant...
afternoon?
He did.
What a deep con.
This
for
is
me, too.
he's seriously...
I had to write
Seriously.
311 pages of The Godfather to get to this part. Guys,
This is my
that's the
favorite
other
part.
thing. That first quote was from page 15, book 1.
And this is page 300 now?
311,
Oh.
book 5. It is still talking about this woman's vagina. Guys.
Wait,
well, at least
how-
they know how to develop a character. Let's
Hmm.
put it that way.
But yeah, at some point he's like, he gets down there in like doctor mode and he's like, I'm going to pull this up and tighten this up. I mean, it's just like, guys, this is not okay.
I want to know who the guy was that read these books and said, all right, if we take all this shit out, we got a good movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Seriously.
Oh, man.
Like,
Guys.
this could have been the worst movie ever made if it followed the book.
This is the best fixing of a book.
You know, it's funny. Like,
Wow.
Dan could totally make all of this shit up because
Yeah.
nobody's read the
I'm
book.
never going to look at this
Nobody's
Well, now
read
you're
it.
going to read the book because you're interested. Like, why do we have
No,
to talk
I'm
about this
not.
woman's cavernous vagina?
I'm gonna
That didn't make
Google
me want to read
that
the book
at
at all.
work.
I'm gonna get the Cliff's Notes.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
do
the
the.
Cliff's Notes.
Oh, man.
Book 5. Find
I'm
out
gonna
about
read that the same way
Sonny
I read
Schwanke.
Julius Caesar.
Ugh, it's
Oh,
$5
man.
foot long.
Good luck looking at that Bridesmaid the same way next time you watch this
Ugh.
movie.
I didn't look at her the
$5.
first time because she's homely. There was
Ooh.
nothing good looking about her. That bridesmaid.
I don't remember exactly the Bridesmaid, but
Okay, last
Whatever.
quote, guys. Sorry. Page 312. Quote,
Mm,
this is him talking to her. Quote, baby.
The
I'm gonna-"
doctor?
Yeah, the doctor is, the Vegas doctor is talking to this
Mhm.
woman who is for some reason a character in this book.
mm-hmm.
Baby, I'm going to build you a whole new thing down there, and then I'll try it out personally.
Oh my!
No,
There you go.
can't do that. Also,
No.
what?
What's in the box?
Oh, man.
What's in the fucking box?
Oh, my God, it's real. Why is it real? Mario Puzo, everybody.
Oh man!
I don't know how they...
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm glad he didn't
Ugh.
wait the screenplay
Well, he was involved, but
on
yeah.
his own.
I'm glad he had some help from somebody
He's
with
like
it.
one of those hoarders on TV that can't get rid of shit.
Wouldn't it be funny if he was like him and like he was in the room with Coppola, and he's like, and Coppola's like, no, we're gonna leave out the huge vagina part, and he's like, oh, that's the best part of the whole book. You can't leave that part out.
That's what inspired him to write the book in the first place. He was
yeah,
like,
this is the whole book, man.
The whole book's about her putza.
and Coppola's like, no, listen, just no. And then like,
Follow my lead.
could you imagine like Coppola being like, all right, fine, we'll make the whole movie about this chick's vag, And he's like, good, great. And then like Coppola just does what he wants.
It's on the cutting room floor. I apologize.
Oh my gosh, that's
that
only
whole
for the
part.
Patreon users. They get
It's
the
for
subplot.
They actually film all of the scenes with this chick and the large badge so that like Puzo can so they can keep the ruse going.
Mm.
And then when the movie actually comes out, nothing.
And what's funny is I just saw on online that Zack Snyder's going to be putting out the large vagina version of The Godfather.
Yeah.
he got a hold of all the footage.
Good.
Oh man,
Coppola's not happy.
he's gonna follow it with a black and white version. Jeez, the movie itself is pretty darn flawless. There's one really bad missed punch from James Caan when he's being
there's a
James
couple.
Caan.
But
Yeah,
it's
there's
just
a couple actually,
camera
but
angle.
yeah.
Like you could have fixed that in post, right? I don't know. Maybe not.
Dan in post would have fixed it.
For sure.
The weirdest thing, and I have to check because I don't ever remember this before. And like I said, it's the first time I've watched it on the new Blu-ray that's now 10 years old at this point. When Mo Green is saying, you guys are finished, you can't buy me. You know that scene in Vegas? There's one line that's ADR, and he's got like an Italian accent for a second. Did you guys notice that?
ADR?
That's where automated dialogue replacement. It's where they go in and like dub. One line is dubbed. Let me see if I can send you this video.
I did not notice that.
Let me see. Link. Get share link. I want to send you this clip because it's too weird. Like it's just WTF, guys.
Is that like bad lip reading?
Well, it's
you know
like
that channel on YouTube?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, where all of a sudden he goes from, "Hey, I'm Mo Green, and and now I'm Mo Green again," and it's like, whoa, pick a voice, bro. Like, I don't know, it was weird. Like, it just seems, and it looks like he was saying the right words. So I wonder if it's just a Blu-ray problem. Like, did Paramount just screw up the blue? Because his voice, it's just weird. Watch that clip. Guys, what the hell was that?
I talked to Marzini?
I talked to Marzini. Like, it's not. It's so bad.
It's
Was
like
it
when
like
you
that
hear,
on your version, or is it just the Blu-ray? Like,
I didn't catch it.
I don't know.
I gotta see if I can find it like on Vudu or something, because I have to know. Like Dan
It's
in
like
post,
that Brian Regan bit.
yeah, Dan
where
in
he
post
talks-
is gonna come in here and tell you if I could find it on other versions, because that is a weird choice. An otherwise flawless audio presentation for that one line to be
I have the
wrong.
movie up right now.
He has the movie up.
And I'm
Yeah,
fast
go see
forwarding
if your
30
version has
times
that
through
too.
it to get to the scene.
It's like when a newscaster says the country in the accent.
Nicaragua.
Yeah, Nicaragua. There was an earthquake today in Nicaragua.
But even then, it sounds like he's in a different studio. Like the ambiance of the performance is different. It sounds like it. I don't know. That was weird. That blew my mind today. I was like, I gotta rewind this, watch it twice, take a video, show you guys. It was a whole thing.
After rewatching that scene with Sonny's death, if I ever see a toll booth person duck behind the door, I'm taking off.
Oh yeah, no,
Throw
hit
that
the
bitch
gas.
in reverse.
Yep. I'll take the ticket in the mail.
No, throw that bitch in reverse.
I can't. There's probably a car behind me.
Well, there was a car in front of him. He should have threw it in reverse.
It's in yours too.
It's there.
Yeah, it's in mine.
Guys, I need the background on what's going on.
Okay, we're gonna continue watching the scene until
The movie's
the
over.
very end. No, until the very end of the scene when Michael talks to whoever that guy is and says,
It's Fredo. It's his brother.
"Who?
The guy with the
Fredo
guy,
is his brother?
the guy
brother,
that's
yeah.
banging
That's his brother?
Yeah, it's his older
Yeah.
brother. He's the middle child.
Oh my
He's
god,
Fucking Fredo.
I didn't know.
He's a
that.
douchebag.
Well, that's like part of the whole thing is, Vito knows Sonny's going to be in it, but Sonny's, poorly adapted for it. And he knows Fredo's going to be in it. And Fredo seems like the dutiful middle son. And he was just so desperately hoping to keep Michael out of it. But Michael is so damn good at it that it turns out he has to be the one. That scene when Vito realizes that Michael is, committed the business in the restaurant and is now
He cries.
Oh my god, dude, Brando,
Yes.
dude.
All right, hold on. Here it comes. This is the part I want to say right here. Done.
Ever.
Don't ever take sides with anyone against the family again. Ever.
And I'm sure he won't.
Probably not.
No, he's learned his lesson. So, oh my gosh, this movie is pretty good, guys. I think I think I like The Godfather.
You think? You think it's pretty good?
Pretty good. One of the few movies that's rated as highly as it is and deserves it. You know,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
it's not overrated; it's correctly rated.
Yes. It's very good.
It's definitely not underrated.
I mean, everyone rates this movie like
yeah.
high. So
Word.
yeah, it makes me want to watch that 4-hour movie that Troy was talking about.
Oh, the
I think-
Netflix one.
Yeah, what was that one?
The Irishman?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to get a few more gangsta movies into your belt, and then you watch
agree.
The Irishman.
I agree.
Did you watch
Yeah.
Sopranos, George?
No, not the whole thing, not all the way through. I know of The Sopranos and I've seen some of it, but
That's a good,
I probably should
Binge.
watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we need to watch a few things before you do that.
Okay.
Got to build the context.
Yeah.
I think that this genre might be
Your bag.
it. Yeah, one of them. Yeah, like
Mm.
zombies are my bag. Like, I'm into that
you
genre.
dig that. You dig dead
Yeah.
people and Italians. I got it.
This genre is up there.
Probably because this genre is almost always handled with respect.
Well, I was just thinking of one that we ought to watch.
Almost always, yes.
What's that?
One of the Italian ones that, like the made in Italy ones. That's just
Okay, yeah, no,
so
they don't
gross,
respect
but-
anything.
so good.
These are like westerns, but better.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean,
like
they're-
I like westerns. Like that's another genre that I kind of dig. But like these are like they're like westerns, but modern and better. You know, because there's more. I don't know.
I think
more
because
complexity.
it's a genre that the people making it have a vested interest in making it accurate. Like usually, like Coppola, Scorsese, they respect the history. They want it told relatively, even though it's a shitty situation.
Have you ever
They want it respected.
Have you ever watched like a documentary about organized crime and like
It's terrible.
and like undercover police officers
Mhm.
that get involved with these families and like it's like
Everybody's on the
watching this
payroll.
movie.
Yep.
It's like
Corruption.
it's
That's why
nuts.
Boardwalk Empires was so good because
This genre is so interesting because it's like it's real life.
it's human nature.
It's real life. This is actually what was going on. This is not a romanticized version or like some fantasy thing.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a damn documentary.
It's not a
We don't know that this all didn't happen.
It's not a romantic novel about large vaginas.
Like he's
Oh
yeah,
my
no.
God.
But like he said, this happens every 3 to 5 years.
Right.
These families go to war every couple of years. Like this is not fiction. This is like how they say like based on a true story in
Mhm.
some of these movies, and there's like one thing that's actually kind of true, but everything else is fantasy. This is not fantasy. This is like the way it is.
I mean,
Mhm.
maybe you
That's why
really
it's so
should
good.
sit down and watch Quelle Che Contano, which is also known as The Big Shots, or my favorite, Guns of the Big Shots. That's
Mm.
the name of this other movie. The Italian one that's just so trashy, but it's also kind of The Godfather. And it's actually like
Hmm.
shot in Sicily, so you'd be like, hey,
Hey,
everybody's really sweaty because it's hot outside and there's no AC.
forget
Mm.
about
It's a
it.
very sweaty movie. Highly recommended if you like trash.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll watch it next week. What do you say, Travis?
He's biting his
I'm gonna
fist.
call
now.
I'm on vacation.
Hey,
He's going to Maine.
oh God, it was directed
Yeah.
by Andrea Bianchi. Andrea Bianchi. That's why it's trash, because that guy only directs trash. I love that guy. Anyway.
But it's Italian trash.
Oh, jeez. I mean, guys, this is the same guy. I'm just going to read you a few of his titles.
Best kind.
Stripped Nude for Your Killer is that guy's movie.
Garbage Day.
Malabimba. Oh, and he directed Burial Ground, which you guys have seen, the kid that bites the lady. So
The Nip. Yeah.
Yeah. That guy.
Oh, that guy.
That
Great
guy.
movie.
Think of that guy
Great
making
director.
The Godfather. And
Great
that's
meme.
Oh God.
Great
that's what that
meme.
movie was that I was describing.
Wow.
Good stuff, guys.
Yeah. What?
So what are we actually watching next week?
Well, I had a few things planned, but I think it's only necessary and to watch Godfather 2.
I mean, here's the
For
thing.
real?
We close out the 50th episode of the show with one of the best movies ever. And
Yeah.
so we've got nowhere to go but laterally or down or up.
Yeah.
So let's begin the next 50 movies with an equally good movie. What do you say?
Some would agree. So we'll see.
We'll see if George likes
Godfather 2.
The Godfather 2, Part 2.
it. Or as they call it on Sopranos, Part 2. Because they don't
Part
have to say it. They're talking about the
They don't
Godfather.
have to say the Godfather.
Just
They
like
just
with
say
They
Part
know.
2.
They just say Part 2.
with me and my buddies where we're like, hey, Part 4. Yeah, this weekend? Oh, no, Part 5? Okay, they know. We know.
Yeah.
Hey,
We
can we like when we title this episode
Just call it Part 2.
the next one, just call it Part 2.
Okay.
Like we'll call this one The Godfather, right? Because
Right.
it's The Godfather. But the next episode, let's just call it Part 2
Part 2.
Yeah, because we don't want people
and start
to
talking about it.
download it or anything.
Well, fuck them. Listen to them in order.
Well, the graphic will show them what
That's
it's
true.
Part 2 of.
That's true.
Although I do have the Godfather font, so I could just type Part 2
But if you did it in the font,
graphic.
anybody
should.
with it would get
The
it.
font. They would
Exactly. Those
Yeah.
are the people that we want listening.
So what do you think, George? Are you ready to continue or maybe not? Who knows what Godfather Part 2 is? It might be in space.
Oh my God. Yeah, we'll give it a shot. Fuck it.
get it. Sonny comes back. He's now jumping from body to body.
No, he's RoboCop.
He's RoboCop. Robo Sonny.
They took him in and they gave him a.
Yeah, dead or alive, you're coming with me means a whole different
Yeah.
thing when you got a foot long
Yeah.
dick.
Dude.
Oh.
I didn't know RoboCop had 3 legs. And he's biting his fist.
Oh, 3-round burst. What's up?
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Thank you for joining us on the Remedial Film Class Podcast. As always, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Remedial Film Pod. You can find us at Facebook.com/Remedial Film Pod. And you can find us now on YouTube as well. Be sure to join us next week for The Godfather Part 2.
Well, this was a fun one, guys.
Oh, it's a good movie. It helps when
This
it's
was
a good
good.
movie.
Yeah.
With a secret book about giant vaginas.
Did Meg watch it with you or?
Not the whole thing. She saw some of it.
Okay.
It's real good, man.
It's real good.
That's me patting myself on the back.
It's real.
We got
good.
one finally.
Yeah.
You get them.
We
all
get a
the
few
time,
here
man.
and there. What's funny is I'm like going, oh my God, he's like procrastinating. He's not gonna want. He's not gonna like it.
Why was
He's
I
not-
procrastinating?
Because it was like I gave you the movie on Saturday, and then you're like, I haven't watched it yet, and it was like Monday. I had
Yeah.
watched it twice. And
It
I'm
was
like,
yeah.
okay.
I just had a busy week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and then he gets the 2 beers out. I'm like, oh great, got 2 beers.
What, tonight?
Yeah.
I always get 2 beers out. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but usually Grumpy George.
But
gets
there
2
was
beers.
no, because there was coffee first.
Oh.
If there's coffee and 2 beers, you know it's gonna be good.
Part
Word.
2 is 3 hours and 22 minutes. So clear your schedule.
Plan ahead. Plan ahead.
But it'll be worth it or something.